Okay, we're live on StreamYard. And we're just waiting for YouTube to kick in. We're live on YouTube. So there we go. Now, nobody's in the chat yet. Might be some lurkers around. I don't know. I don't think so. According to this, nobody's here yet. You know, but that's okay. You know, we can always quit early if nobody shows up. Is the way I look at it. You know, maybe that's a bad attitude to have, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to turn the show over to you and let you run with it, and I'm just going to retire.
Oh man, I don't know if I can fill your shoes with that, Rick. I don't
Well,
know.
hell, I mean, you've done the show in my time slot many a time.
Yeah, a couple times fell in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to be here all the time, but if something comes up, like family thing, or I'm not feeling well, you know me, I'll put out a notice I'm not having a show tonight, right? And before when I did that, if I ever did, I'm trying to remember, I felt really bad and stuff, and I tried never. I mean, I wouldn't go to family functions because no, I can't. I got a show tonight. You know, I don't think like that anymore. To be honest with you, now whether that's good or bad, I don't know. You know, so maybe it's time to, you know, call it quits. For I know I took a sabbatical for about 6 months, but maybe I need to do another one or quit altogether. I don't know. That's what's been going through my head the last couple of days. You know, but we'll see. So anyway, I don't see anybody here yet, but I can always say welcome to Rick's Life as I see it here on the good old YouTube, the interwebs. And I said I'm just waiting for people to show up, then we'll get started. Well, I mean, I can talk. Well, you know, I can talk and talk and talk. And I forgot what I was going to say now. Damn it. Yeah, meant to start raining starting tomorrow for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then starting Monday, the 4th of July week, it's meant to be up in the 90s, hot and sunny and humid all week, including the 4th of July itself. You know? So we're in for a heat wave here in Indiana. Don't know about the rest of the country. It's going to be nice, to have being the 250th, nice to have a nice day and not rained out. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. But it's going to be a hot one. So there we go. And I worked it out. I started getting disability in 2016. So I've been getting disability for 10 years. Yeah, because I had it for about a year before I moved here. That's right, because I've been here 9 years. But what I was saying is I forgot where I was going with this. About disability, 10 years. There was, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, God. Just call me Biden. God almighty. This is terrible. This is terrible. Wait, you know.
Suffering from CRS?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Guns and barbecue. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing all right. How about you, gentlemen?
We're doing fine. Nobody's here yet, except for us three. That's it. It's
those slackers.
because YouTube tells you how many people are here or how many views you got. You know, your chat rate and viewers, and I got 0, 0, 0. So, you know, not even listing you down here as a viewer.
Huh. Go figure on that one.
Yeah, that's all right. As I said, I'll keep going. I can always shut it down early. You know what I'm saying? So now I was talking about something, and it totally slipped my mind, and I feel like Biden right now. My memory's shot. I can't remember what I was talking about. It was something about me being on disability for 10 years, and there was a point. There was a point to it. And God, if I can remember what in the hell it was now. I really don't remember.
It was a lie. That's why you can't remember.
That's what my mother always used to say to me. You know, you can't remember, it's a lie. So, I don't know. Hey, what can I say? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I remember what it was now, so it wasn't a lie. It was to do with Social Security. Right? And I've told you all my story before anyway, that I'm meant to get paid on the second Wednesday of the month. Right? And so all right. Guns and Barbecue, New York Outcast has left us for the evening.
Uh-oh.
He wasn't doing, you know, he's just got home from work and he's still unloading his truck. I just think he's having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? So,
Indeed, I do.
If you want to bail out, you go for it too. Then I'll just shut her down. I don't have a problem with it. But where I was going with my Social Security, I'll tell you, since he's not here to hear me, was I normally get it on the second Wednesday of the month because it's to do the letter of the alphabet of your last name, right? I fall under the second Wednesday. So theoretically, I should get it on the 8th of July. But
yep,
only one time have I ever got 99% of the time, I always get it on the Friday before. So long as the first of the month falls on a Wednesday or after, I always get it on that Friday. So like this would be the 3rd of July.
Okay.
Okay. But the 3rd of July is the official federal holiday.
Yep.
So am I going to get it on the 2nd or only ever one time? And I can't remember what it was. I believe it was a federal holiday. One time in the whole 10 years I've ever got it after that Friday. You know what I'm saying? I've got it on the Thursday before the federal holiday on a Friday, but only one time I've ever got it after.
I say you'll probably get it on the 1st. That's the way it normally has happened for me.
Yeah.
Even if it's just the weekend where, you know, the 3rd falls on the weekend, then for some reason it will come on the 1st instead of, you know, say the 3rd is on a Saturday, I'll still get it on the 1st, not the 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you know, I was just you know, thinking about that because it's been June's been a tough month financially. So
yeah,
having some money before the 4th, even though it's just a day before, would be nice.
Right. Another thing, I think part of that might just play into your bank, because, you know, what, 5-6 days before it's actually available in your account, well, at least in my account, I'll see it sitting there pending. It's just waiting for, you know, the day to be approved. So there's ones where I get them on the 1st, and I'm guessing I should probably get them on the 2nd. Because the 3rd falls on a weekend or something like that. I'm thinking somebody just goes click and there it is. Because, from the government itself, it's already been sent over. It's just waiting for that day when it's approved.
Yeah.
So that very well could be something with your bank, especially when it didn't come until after.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, my bank is one of those banks that say, do direct deposit and we'll give it to you 2 days early.
Yeah.
So I got that going for me. And you got to remember, banks, Saturday and Sunday is not counted because they're not open. Right?
Right.
A bank only works Monday to Friday.
Yep.
So when they do the 2-day thing, that's the way I'm looking at it. Anyway, beside the point, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But we were talking about something. That's why I originally brought it up. But that's all right. I was talking about how nice being the 250th, birthday. It's nice that we're going to have. Where I was going with this is, I don't know about your part. I don't know about you over there in Pennsylvania, but here for the whole week starting Monday, we're going to be in the 90s, sunny and humid all week. So it's going to be a nice week, So if you're out doing something on the 4th, it's going to be nice here. So that's where I was going with all this.
Nice week, my arse. I'm going to sweat my junk off.
Oh, I'll be
It'll be awful.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be inside the AC here.
I am too cheap to pay for AC.
If anything, the closest I'll get out being in the heat is going to fire the barbecue to throw some burgers on. That's about it. So that's about all I'll be doing. Anyway, let's have a look. We've got Ron 2A Matters is in the house.
Look at that.
Raphael's here. So we got a couple of people here.
Got all the celebrities out there.
Oh, yeah. So
you're a big deal.
No, not really. They just got nothing else to do on a Wednesday night.
You should start putting the link out there. Let them jump in with you.
Yeah. So anybody wants one, they can, they can
email Spotted Dick at spotteddick.com.
Yeah. Yeah, just email me and I'll send you a link. I got 2 emails, Rick's Life as I See It at Gmail and Spotted Rick at Gmail. So,
yep.
There you go. Anyway, what was I going to be talking about today? Not a lot, really. It's one of those kind of days that I was just floating along. I was saying last week I was going to take my 308 and go shoot it. And I tell you, that is a sweet firearm. I ain't shot it for, at least a good 6-7 months.
Yeah.
But it's still as sweet as ever. It's kind of funny because I'm sitting, he's got a big giant door at the back of his garage.
Yep.
And that's where we got the shooting table. So you're in the shade indoors. And because summer's in full bloom, so the trees and the branches are all out. And there's a goddamn branch coming right down in front of the 130-yard target. You sort of got to move your rifle over about 6 inches for you could see the target because the leaves are in the way. So what I done that a couple of times. Then I just aimed for the branch and the leaves and kept shooting at them to blow them out the way.
Right.
Then I could see the tree.
Nice.
I could see the target.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't shoot many rounds, but it was just not. It was just nice to shoot it, And,
yeah.
And hopefully, but I said it's going to rain I know I'm under a roof and stuff, but I'm more like. Hopefully, I'm going to try to talk him into. Well, he doesn't mind me shooting over there anytime I want. But maybe the beginning of next week when we're up in the 90s, go over there, shoot early in the morning before it gets too hot.
Right.
So we'll do that. So I mean, that's kind of that's about all. Shooting wise, I've done that. I'm debating whether so I got some brass now for I can reload some more 308. I got powder.
Excellent.
I got powder. I've got primers.
So what kind of 308 do you have?
It's my AR-10.
Oh, okay.
The one I built.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in 308. Yeah. Yeah, I built it, what was it, about a year ago?
Very nice.
So,
I'm jealous.
It took, I bought it piecemeal.
Yep.
Because back to the Social Security being paid monthly, I would buy, a part, the expensive part every month.
Yeah.
So it took me about, 4 or 5 months to collect all the parts. So that's how I did it, because it actually, I added it all. Because I got all the receipts, they're stacked over there, but I added it up. It actually cost me $998 to build it.
Excellent.
You could do it cheaper than that, but some stuff I went on the good side, like the stock and stuff like that. I bought a nice one. And stuff like that. So, it's the most expensive gun I own. That's the most I've ever paid for any firearm. Like when you read all these gun magazines, they start talking about all these guns, and you look at the price.
Yeah.
To them, a budget gun's $1,000.
Easy.
A budget gun to me is under 5 and under.
Yep.
But that's just, but then again, back to that, the way the manufacturing is gone in the last, 15? Well, I've only been shooting for about 15, 16 years. So I can only go from when I started. But even back then, guns are made a hell of a lot better than what they used to be. So from what I can figure out, even the budget guns is well made,
Yep.
So
yeah, most definitely depends on what it is. But let's say these companies with modern machining, things like that, it's pretty hard to screw up a firearm unless it's just something brand new, where they haven't done it before, nobody else has done it, and then you're going to have some kinks and things to work out, and that happens. Not a big deal, but at the end of the day, it's like 1911s. People are like, oh, if a 1911 isn't hand fitted, it's going to be junk. What are you talking about? Like, modern machining today can build amazing 1911s, and not a single one of those are ever hand fit.
Yeah, I think I've got a Rock Island 1911.
Yeah,
that thing is so tight. The tolerances on it, it's unreal. It's a beautiful.
The thing is, to people that are really serious about their 1911s, they'd say that's not tight at all. It's loose. There's 1911s that are so tight that you can't really see the line between the slide and the frame.
Yeah.
Where you gotta, we hear about break-in periods for handguns and things like that, or guns in general. But some of these 1911s truly do have a break-in that needs to happen because they're so friggin' tight where their tolerance is. You could pull the slide halfway back and it's going to stay in the same spot because it's that tight. It needs to loosen up. And honestly, I think, there is obviously such thing as too loose. But some of these people that want things to be super tight tolerances, unless you're trying to shoot super precise, long range target shooting, whatever, I really don't think it's necessary. And furthermore, I think it leads to more malfunctions because you don't have super precise ammo, unless, again, you're reloading like you do, Rick, where you could take that time to make sure every round, every, bullet, every case, everything is the exact same for a consistency. Because otherwise, the differences between store-bought ammo will cause the malfunctions in those super tight firearms, which having something that's looser and can handle those differences makes for something that ends up being more reliable.
Yeah. So, what did G?
Sorry, Rick, I used all the words.
Yes, I know you did. So I'm just reading the chat here. G23 says, I'm being sightist, assuming people can see. Oh, you think so? All right. Well, I apologize.
It happens. It happens.
So. Anyway, so what's new with you anyway, you Guns and Barbecue? Anything?
Nothing at all. Just trying to stay cool. Baseball season's over finally, so for a little league that I coached. So now just get to kick back, relax for a couple months until flag football starts up, maybe Little Gritters, depending on wherever they need me to help assistant coach with that program. So just going to enjoy a little bit of downtime.
Yeah. I remember, I'm trying to think, when I was a kid, did our baseball quit this early or did we play into the summer? I don't remember. But I know we're playing, sandlot baseball all summer long.
Yeah.
A bunch of us just go down the baseball field. I'm talking, I was living on a military base at the time. So, the government had baseball fields all over the goddamn place.
Right.
You just go down and start playing on one. We used to play almost during the summer. We were at least down there 5 days a week.
Nice.
But that's going back many, many years. That's got to be going back, 60 odd years ago. Oh, well, not quite, 50 odd years ago. So there we go. Anyway, and what else I was going to talk about? Not much, really. I don't have a lot going on tonight.
We could talk about New York Outcast.
As I was saying it to New York Outcast. He had to leave, but I was saying it to him before he left that I know it's bad of me, but I felt like blowing this show off tonight. I'm not sick. I'm not going to see anybody. I just said, screw it. But I thought that's not fair. I've scheduled the time. People, are used to me being here. But where I was going with this is I don't like letting people down, but I'm getting a sloppy attitude lately. Maybe I need to take a couple of weeks off sabbatical. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know.
Sometimes you need a vacation.
Yeah. let's see, G23. Hang on. Even reloading will have slight variations in projectiles. Case length, temperature of the room can change, and humidity in the room. Oh yeah, yeah, I agree with you. But most of my reloading, I don't do. I mean, I'm not into uh, long distance shooting, precision shooting, and most of my reloads, all my most well, except for when I reload um, my defense ammo. That's when I try to get everything exactly the same, you know. But my other stuff is just mainly practice ammo. That's all I'm really reloading. So
Right.
if like I've got to put in 0.50 whatever. I'm just throwing a number out there without even thinking, or 0.23 ounce grams of powder. I go a couple of grams under or a couple of grams over. I don't worry about it, But when I do my defense ammo, I try to get it dead on every time. So, because I'm just practicing now. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's just the way I've always done it.
Right.
So, yeah, I was just answering G23 there on. But I understand there is variations, and if I was like when I reload my 308, I could use that for long distance shooting, 500-600 yards. And if I was doing that, I would be more precise on what I'm actually reloading, what bullets I'm using, and that kind of stuff. Because sometimes I'll even buy seconds on the bullets. I don't know if that's the correct word. They might have a slight blemish on them or something, and they weren't sold as top of the line stuff.
Yep.
So, because I said all I'm doing is practicing with them. And as I said, even with my defense shooting, when I'm shooting at targets, even with that 308, 100 yards, 200 yards, long as I'm in, within in a circle, I'm trying to think, maybe what, at 200 yards, if it looks about 15 inches across at that distance, so if I'm hitting the circle of a target, I'm happy. I'm not trying to get a. Yes, I would love to hit bullseyes, but if I don't get a bullseye, I'm not getting all bent out of shape over it. It's the same when I'm shooting defensive, when I practice in shooting my handgun. As long as I'm hitting center mass, that's good enough for me.
Right.
So, as I said, I don't know, how other people do it, but maybe that's too cavalier. Is that the word I'm looking for? Or too carefree attitude on shooting? I'm not sure, but I do it to enjoy. I enjoy shooting. If I was getting all worked up over it, then it sort of takes the enjoyment out of it.
Right.
Okay, hey, on G20, do you weigh every projectile to see how much grain weight there, because factory allows standard deviation in every one? Do you weigh every projectile? No, I don't. No, I don't, G23. No, I don't. I mean, I buy a box, and if it says they're 147 grain, I don't. When I first start loading, I might check it, but normally, no. Once I start reloading, it's 147 grain. Then I put in 2.3 grains of powder, do it and set it, I'm good to go. So I mean, also I never go to the when you're doing the data on reloading. I never do the maximum amount it says that the bullet can handle. I always go either. I don't normally take the halfway mark between the two, but edge towards the slight lower end when I'm reloading, for I don't have any, high pressure bullets going through there, hopefully. So, I fire my reloads, and it doesn't worry me that anything's going to happen to them. I'm very confident that, they're going to be okay. I weigh each projectile and separate by weight, so group factors are as similar as possible. Wow. I never thought of doing that, to be honest with you, G23. But maybe something I should start doing. So I don't know. No, we've even now we've lost Guns and Barbecue for a few minutes. So there's only me here. Oh, that's great. I got nobody. Oh, I got you guys to bounce off of, but somebody actually sitting here in the chat to bounce things off of makes it a lot easier, I think. Do you fire form your rifle case? Oh, okay. I think what you're talking about is no. When I reload, when I pick up my brass and I'm putting it through my dies, I always Oh, my mind! I'll tell you. I said earlier I'm starting to get like Biden. My mind's gone blank. I always put it through the die to what's the word for it? Resize it back to what it should be with the die. I don't. I know you can't. I mean, a lot of good shooters, they like out of my 308, they shoot it, and then they use the brass as is for, like it works like it will only work in my gun because the brass is the way it's built for my firearm. I don't go to that extreme. I think that's what you're on about. You got to remember, I've only been reloading what, almost a little less than what I've been shooting, and I've only been shooting for 10 years. I got into firearms very late in life, all because of my disability. I never thought about protecting myself until I got hurt. So, yeah. Hey, Shady Hill, how you doing? So, Guns and Barbecue's back. There you go. You're back. Good.
You interrupted my message that I was leaving you in the back. I was saying, I'm back, Peckerhead.
Sorry, I was on a roll there on talking about stuff. But
I say, sometimes you need to be. Good job.
Yeah. So there we go. Anyway, my little shooting with disabilities section. I only talk just for a few minutes on an item, and I was looking. If anybody's got any topics for this, email me them. But I've touched on this before, but I asked. It was something like, my original question I was looking up was, is there anything different that's sort of like firearm safety with somebody with disabilities is what I was looking for something to do with that. But, you know, just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you cannot, unless you're prohibited from owning firearms. There's no reason why you can't have one. And if you've never shot, learn how to be safe with one. And it says under the, the ADA, the Americans with Disability Act, right? Individuals cannot be excluded from firearm training or public shooting ranges, and as I said, get yourself a local instructor who can help you with that. I mean, even visually and auditory adjustments can be done. Sighted instructors and rangers can provide verbal commands, and all that kind of stuff. So I was just looking at stuff like that, and it's like anything else. Having a disability should not stop you from doing this if you wish to. As I said, prohibited person, can do it. Now, I think some of the laws that the government uses trying to have too many, what's the word I'm looking for? How you can, be put on a prohibited list when you shouldn't be. I mean, like that case in the Supreme Court that came out, was it last week or this week, where they cannot put you on a prohibited list for smoking marijuana anymore. So I would imagine that's what the Supreme Court said in that case. I would imagine that question on the 4473 is going to disappear, because they can't use it against you now. So, which I think is good. I mean, another one is where they can put you on a prohibited list back under, if. Now, I'm trying to think. The way I'm trying to word it, it might not come across right, is if a judge puts you in a mental institution, court ordered, even for when they put you in court order for 72 hours, right? That automatically puts you on the prohibited list forever. And I think that is wrong. It depends what kind of mental issue you're having. I don't know. It's a hard one, but I think, some of the things they put you on for is wrong. I'm a believer if you're charged with something and you've done your time, you get your rights back.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. Here's one. Okay. Why now? You're in the military. They kick your ass out, and you're dishonorable discharged, which is a disgrace in itself, right? Why? Because you're dishonorably discharged. Why are you prohibited from having a firearm? Is what I want to know. Why?
I've always wondered that myself. Like, on the one hand, I understand the idea that, like, oh, you couldn't even follow the rules and laws of the military, so much so that they had to kick you out. But I'm like, that's not really a conviction. Like, you could just, look at how many people were, I don't know if they were dishonorably discharged, but they were let go from the military when they refused to get the COVID shot.
No, they weren't. They were done under they call it a general discharge.
That's what I figured, but I wasn't
which is
100%.
different. It's not an honorable discharge. It's just the general discharge. It's but even getting dishonorable discharge and you lose your gun rights, I think is totally asinine. I really do. But maybe I'm missing something. So
Let's say that would be something for to talk with when Rob's in here, because honestly, I don't know what all it takes to get a dishonorable discharge. So like I said, I agree with you where it sounds like that's crap. Because I'm sure there's petty shit where they'll be like, nope, you're gone, dishonorable discharge, see you later, and your whole life's screwed up forever after that.
yeah.
But obviously, there's going to be some pretty serious stuff too, where they do that. So I think it's going to fall into a spectrum. But like I said, I think if Rob was here, he could give us more insight.
Yeah, but G23 says, right? Only time you shouldn't be able to have a firearm is when you are locked up. If you're allowed to walk the street, you can have a firearm. That's my sentiment. If they think you're so violent, you can't have a firearm, then don't let your ass out of jail. If society thinks you're that violent, you can't be trusted, then stay in jail. Or I might be missing something there. Do we have a? If you come up, a violent crime, armed robbery, is that a violent crime? Theoretically, because you're using a firearm, and technically, if you're using a firearm to rob somebody, that means you're willing to pull the trigger. So is that violent? Yeah, to a certain degree. But I don't know. Who says it is and who says it isn't? Those are tough questions.
The fact that you're bringing a weapon into any situation like that automatically aggravates it to being violent. Doesn't matter if it's a firearm, a knife, baseball bat. Heck.
Yeah.
Put a lock in a sock. Armed robbery.
G23 says on that it's because of the amount of people who have committed crimes after dishonorable discharge. So a lot of them go on to be criminals, I guess. Right?
Well, even then,
So the ones who felt being dishonorable discharged was a disgrace and they're embarrassed about it and go on to be, try to put it behind them and go on with life, get punished because a few become criminals. They're getting painted with the same brush.
So here's the big problem. So if what G23 is saying is true, that's no different than prohibition on firearms for anybody that was incarcerated for a year or more and released because recidivism rates, they're quite high, and that's probably part of the problem with our correction system. Is it's not about rehabilitation anymore. It's just adult daycare. That's all it is. You go in there, you learn how to be a better criminal. You go out and you get to do better criminal shit because you went to college for it now, in a sense. But that's the same thing that would be happening with the dishonorable discharge. And furthermore, though, there's jobs that will ask on the application, hey, have you ever been dishonorably discharged from the military? A lot like, some job applications ask, are you a felon? I think both of those questions should not be able to be asked. Just because somebody did something prior in their life doesn't mean they're apt to do something. Excuse me, got the hiccups all of a sudden. Oh God, do something heinous later on. But when you limit their options, is that the reason then that they resort to doing crimes? Because
Yeah. Yeah, go on. I understand.
oh, I was just gonna say, because now they're limited in options, and with that, they probably end up running with a crowd that is more apt to be like, "Hey, you should try doing this thing that I'm doing." And I'm a big proponent of surrounding yourself with like-minded people. If you want to surround yourself with pieces of crap, you're going to be a piece of crap. If you can manage to surround yourself with 6 or 7 millionaires, guess what? You're going to be the seventh or eighth millionaire then. If you surround yourself with like-minded people that want to live a good life, excel, they're ambitious, then you're going to find yourself living a pretty good life.
Yeah, I understand where you come from. And I mean, as you said, somebody could, like a drug charge back in 1970 odd and it was a felony. You've had your rights. And since that day, you have never got even a parking ticket for the last 40, 50 years. You're still not allowed to have your guns. I think that's why they shouldn't be able. So when you fill out an application, have you got a felony? I mean, if you answer no, they're going to find out if they run a background check. If you answer yes, they're not even going to run the background check. They're going to automatically disqualify you from having a job. That's like, I can't ask you what your medical problems are because it's against the law nowadays. They shouldn't be able to ask you if you're a felon or not. I agree. I understand where you're coming from on that one, but maybe I'm just being too naive. Maybe I'm looking at the world through the wrong colored glasses. I don't know. So,
well, if we can't, ask somebody their sexual orientation, their religion, their political affiliation, et cetera, because if you were to ask them that, then not give them the job, it could be deemed potentially discriminatory. Disability, that's another one where it could be discriminatory. Race, ethnicity, all these things. But each of those things, all it's doing is putting people into a block. Like, oh, you're this block because Rick is in a chair and Guns and Barbecue walks around with a blind cane, and Rob D is black and G23 looks like a jelly belly. Yeah, I don't know. But seriously, how is then taking and creating a block of people who may have made a mistake at some point in their life, convicted of a severe misdemeanor, a felony, who knows what? How is that not discriminatory?
Oh, I think it is, personally.
Oh, yeah. I was just speaking hypothetically. Like,
yeah.
Wasn't saying that you disagreed or anything.
Yeah. So.
And like, there's things where I'm like, oh, well, no, I get it. There's some things where certain jobs you probably just want the most up and up people. Like, for example, police officers. Do you want a felon being a police officer? Maybe. Honestly, that may not be the worst idea. I mean, with how crooked some cops are, and that's not me saying that all cops. I'm just saying there's some that are terrible, terrible, terrible human beings, let alone police officers. But with that, one of the things that they analyze with potential hires for police officers is their credit score.
Yeah.
Because an officer that has poor credit probably has poor financial means. And if they have poor financial means and problems, then they are easier to turn and do illegal stuff for criminals.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from on that, but I don't know. It's a tough one. It is.
Yeah, like I said, I think for some things, whether we like it or not, discrimination is a necessity. Because I'm calling it discrimination to hire somebody based on their record. And it's one thing if it's like, oh, we looked up your criminal background. We see that you stole the Pepsi machine off of the sheriff's porch back in 1973. That's a real story. I know a guy that did that, and he's carried the felony ever since. Great guy, incredible guy. One of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
Firearms.
And say, yeah, 100%. He was drunk one night. Him and his buddies thought it would be funny to go and steal the Coca-Cola machine off of the porch of the sheriff's department, and it just happened that it was election year. So the sheriff and the judge threw the book at him. He got like 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, obviously. Like, hey, he did something stupid, but that's something that, like I said, follows him around to this day. Like I said, if you met him and he didn't tell you, you would never know. Nicest guy you'd ever meet. But at the same time, if somebody has a record, I know you're trying to jump in here, Rick. I apologize. I'm almost done. I promise. But if somebody has a record where it's like, oh, you've been accused of stealing things, or not even accused, you've been convicted of stealing things and breaking and entering and all these different things, 10, 11, 12 times. One, why is that person still walking the street? Obviously, they're not changing their ways. But two, well, maybe that's not somebody that gets to work at the department store. That's not somebody that you can trust with money or something like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Anyway, I'm going to cut you off, and I'm going to do my quiz here in a second, because
I was going to say, do your quiz.
Yeah, I'm going to do my quiz. My dog's whining at the door, wanting to go out. So I'm going to get this done before. I doubt she would do anything on the floor, but you never know. If she's got diarrhea or something, she might not be able to hold it.
That's right.
So let me do my quiz. You've got next Wednesdays, I'm doing the drawing because I was gone for 2 weeks. So you lucked out. And it's real easy. The old movie, British war movie, The Dam Busters. I want to know what it was about because it's based on a true story. So I want to know what it was all about. And, anything to do with it. It doesn't have to be long. I mean, it's very easy, actually. It was a particular thing that happened. And I want to know what it is. Email me at rickslife, as I said, at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com.
It was about beaver genocide. It's
called The Dam Busters. I think it was made in the mid to late 50s. I said it was an epic war movie. And it's based on a true story of the RAF 617th Squadron. There you go. That's all the clues I'm giving you. So.
Yep. It's about beaver genocide. You're welcome, folks.
So with that, I am going to absolutely call it because I said I need to get the dog out. So I apologize. I'm cutting everybody short. You got anything you want to say, Guns and Barbecue?
Be sure to get a hold of New York Outcast. Let him know that you love him and you miss him, and that you need him to be on this show. That way, Guns and Barbecue isn't sitting here using all the words.
Yes.
Also, make sure he doesn't eat all the strawberries. And with that, always use cash. Never buy a new car. And remember, you should only eat salads. And go find Squibload and let him know that Guns
Exactly.
and Barbecue told you that you're supposed to subscribe to him. That's all.
All right. There you go. All right. Then with that, I'm going to say good night to everybody. I appreciate it, but I can still hear my dog whining, so I better get out, see what's happening. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I'll be here next Wednesday, just before the 4th of July. So until then, everybody have a good night, and I will see you all later. Good night, Sabrina.